Yu is an antisocial loser who befriends an extroverted girl. But when he is reunited with his childhood love, she starts playing tricks on him to win him over. It all starts when Yu holds a sale at his school's art convention, but fails to attract any customers due to his hideous face. By the end of the day, he only sells 5 items and realizes that he has a higher chance of getting a kitty than reaching his goal of selling 100 by tomorrow. That's when he runs into a blue-haired freak, Himari, who tells him that some girls came by the store while he was gone, meaning he missed the chance to make more sales. Yu sadly believes no one would want to buy any of his stuff, but the girl reveals she actually sold 27 items while he was crying in the bathroom. She then asks him why he wants to make 100 sales, saying he heard this from Sato-sensei from the science club. She shoves her face into his to demand an answer, and Yu bricks up, looking at her pretty face up close. Yu then reveals he wants to open a store when he grows up because he's too dumb to have a proper job. His parents obviously don't support his ambitions, but they told him he can do whatever he wants if he sells 100 items at the fair. Himari laughs so hard that she spills juice on his face and proceeds to call him an idiot for making such a harsh decision. She then notes that he only has 68 items left and decides to help him sell out the entire stock. 2 years later, Yu continues to sell flower-related accessories online through his family's convenience store. Even in school, he's created his private world where he ambitiously works on his craft and creates more items for his store. He's also gotten really close to Himari in the meantime, who often comes to bother him while he's working. As they engage in some friendly physical banter, Yu recalls treating Himari after the fair, and even gifting him a choker to show gratitude, which she wears to this day. Himari revealed she was stalking him for days and noticed his enthusiasm for flowers, so she decided to support his business. However, she ended up calling for a huge favor from her brother, and as payment, she demanded Yu's dull eyes. She noted his eyes light up when he worked on his craft, so he made him promise to never lose his passion and have his eyes light up every day for her. At present, Yu asks Himari about a talent agency that reached out to her, but she says she turned them down because she'll be busy helping him in the shop. She even jokes that she'll marry him if he doesn't open the store by age 30. And Yu asks her not to make such jokes because her brother Hibari has started treating him like he's his brother-in-law. Himari says the only way to stop him is if Yu marries someone else, but with a face only a mother can love. His chances of scoring are not very high. Himari asks him to touch some grass and get a shotty on his ding-dong, but Yu argues he can't get any because she's all over him in front of the other girls. Himari says she never had trouble scoring guys, completely forgetting that she's cute, while Yu looks like a poorly drawn NPC. She then goes into the fact that she belongs to a long line of nobles and might have to marry for family politics. But when Yu offers to compensate, she bursts out laughing because he totally bought into her fake story. At night, Yu returns home to the only kitty in his life, Deifuku, and recalls Himari telling him that she never finds any guy interesting other than him. Since both of them can't seem to get a good partner, Himari proposes they marry each other if they Aries still loners by 30. Yu tries to play it cool and says he prefers a more modest girl, and Himari excitedly jumps on his back because this is the first time she's ever been rejected. Later, Yu brings the batch orders to his sister Saku, who scolds him for coming without texting first. The next day, a guy walks up to Himari and tells her she can do much better than Yu, but she quickly stops his advances. She then questions if the friendship between a girl and a guy is just a myth, wondering if it's just a means to ride Yu's monster truck. She then tells herself that she's completely okay with Yu dating other girls, but it'll be sad if they have to part ways because of that. Meanwhile, Yu runs into a pretty girl at the vending machine and notes she's wearing a bracelet he sold 2 years ago at the fair. Just then, the bracelet breaks and the girl falls into despair. Seeing the damsel in distress, Yu mans up and offers to fix it for her. When under normal circumstances, he can barely talk to anyone other than Himari. The girl sternly asks him what he wants, and Yu goes back to being a wuss immediately after. During class, Himari keeps texting Yu to ask more about the girl he met. But when he starts scolding him by raising his voice, the teacher tells him not to interrupt Himari's studies. After class, Himari asks more about the girl, but Yu doesn't even remember selling anything to her. Just then, his friend Makishima shows up and claims Yu for himself, which starts a war between him and Himari. Later, Yu tells them to get along because they used to date a few years ago, but Himari says it was only because she was bored. She further adds that Makishima had 5 girlfriends at the time, yet she was the only one bullied for dating him. Makishima says it's her own fault for dating someone she didn't like, starting yet another fight between the two. Yu then asks for the purpose of his visit, and Makishima mentions the girl he ran into at the vending machine. He then asks her to come out of hiding, and as she says hi, Himari realizes the girl he met is Rin. Later, they discuss how Rin and Makishima have been friends for many years, but got separated because they went to separate schools. She also reveals she and Rin used to hang out sometimes because Rin is in his brother's class. 2 years ago, Rin's sister promoted his flower stall, and since then, she's become a fashion icon who is all over the magazines. Himari believes Rin got the bracelet from her sister, and Yui agrees she might have no idea he made it. They invite her to Yuu's workshop, where she presents the locket and sternly tells him to fix it at all costs. Himari intervenes, telling her to go easy on Yu because he has 0 social skills, much like you guys. Rin says she's being polite, but then gets startled when Himari puts a mirror in front of her face, revealing her frowning expression. She throws a tantrum demanding Yu fix the locket, and when Himari starts making fun of her, she grabs him by the face and tells him not to push her luck. Amid their fight, Himari suddenly starts squeezing Rin's honka-donkas, earning her an even worse beatdown. Later, as Himari sits there in shame, Yu finally starts working while Rin watches him closely. She notes that he has completely zoned out, and Himari explains he always goes into a trance while working, to the point that he can't even hear them talking. After a while, Yu finally fixes the locket and breaks out of the trance, only to find numerous hairbands in his hair, courtesy of Himari. Yu panics trying to get them off, and both girls share a moment of laughter. Rin then puts on the bracelet and thanks Yu for fixing it. As they walk home, Rin asks if they're dating, but Himari tells her they have been best friends for 2 years. She reveals she is fascinated by Yu's passion for work and wonders if they'll still be friends when he stops working. As it starts to pour, they take shelter on the roadside, and Rin asks her if she's ever been in a one-sided relationship with someone. When Himari asks for details, she pulls up a picture of her, explaining that she has been in love with the person who crafted the accessories she wears. Now that she knows it's Yu, Himari realizes she isn't the only one who sees Yu for who he is, and believing their friendship would last forever now seems like wishful thinking to her. The next day, while his cat is munching, Yu is having breakfast and realizes he hasn't talked to anyone other than Himari in a very long time. Just then, his sister Saku enters and says he looks like he got the life sucked out of him. Yu then tells him about the whole Rin situation, and she believes it is a good incentive, explaining how he only makes accessories to get Himari on his meat saber, and they all end up looking the same. She also advises him to put other emotions, like the deep despair of rejection. But when he argues that the sales are good, Saku reminds him he hasn't had a returning customer in ages. She then reminds him of his promise that if he fails to open his own store by 30, he will have to take over their family's store. She also jokes about him marrying Himari, but Yu walks out in frustration. In class, he reflects on Saku's words and realizes he might need to make a change soon. Later, Makishima stops Rin in the halls to remind her that he won't let anyone near Yu, but Himari soon shows up and the two start arguing. Just then, some girls ask Makishima to watch them play, and Himari immediately recognizes them as the pick-me Twitch thoughts from the tennis club. After Makishima leaves to clap them shotties, Himari thinks of a plan and meets Yu in the garden while he's tending to the flowers. She asks why he looked so down in class, and Yu explains he's planning on changing the theme in his next batch of accessories by adding passionate romance and despair of rejection. Himari is super happy to see him take interest in such topics and later encourages him to follow Saku's advice because it'll increase the sales. She also tells him to theme it around romance because his customers are mostly girls. Yu asks why she's interested in romance, and she says it's because she is super popular and a lot of guys ask her out. She then yaps about how a girl wants to kiss the boy she has feelings for, and even the desire to become his wife also falls into the same category. She then asks what kind of girls he is into, but Yu brushes it off because he genuinely doesn't care. He admits he never had the urge to kiss a girl when looking at her, so she sheepishly offers to kiss him for experience.
Are you serious?
Yu starts blushing and asks if she sees him as a man, but Himari says he's just her best friend. She then admits she hasn't kissed anyone before, so if they were to try on each other, they could understand romance better. While Yu is wondering if she hit her head on a shelf, she suddenly cuddles up to him and says holding hands is the same as kissing without emotions.
So that was a f***ing lie.
Because it's just a contact of skin. She also admits she likes holding hands with him and then confidently asks if he'd like to kiss her. Yu starts to think it is one of her tricks, but as she comes closer, he sees her red cheeks and wonders if she's really going to kiss him. Just at the last second, he closes his eyes, but Himari suddenly starts laughing at him, making him realize she was just teasing him. When he says she's gone too far, she promises to make it up to him and asks him to clear his schedule on Saturday. On Saturday, he finds himself on a road trip with Hibari, who says he misses Yu because he doesn't visit that often anymore. After warming up, he tells Yu that he and Saku used to be classmates, and he likes her straightforwardness. He further says how Saku was a genius in class, which makes Yu wonder if one of them is adopted. However, Hibari says he's nothing less than Saku because of his skill in creating accessories. He drops Yu at the mall, where he meets Himari, who has been waiting for him for a while. She inspects his clothes and tells him to stop dressing like a homeless New Yorker. But Yu quickly realizes she just wants him to match her energy. Yu counters that Hibari made him rush here, and he didn't have the time to pick something nice for himself. Himari then reveals she's joined by a special guest today, who happens to be none other than Rin. As they visit a restaurant, Yu nervously asks about Makishima, but Rin says he is busy with club activities. Noticing the awkwardness between them, Yu believes Rin is a glitched NPC who forgets how to talk after you exhaust his dialogue. Himari creeps in and asks if he's thought of his new batch, and when he says no, she tells him to challenge himself this time. She then reveals that Rin is willing to become a model for his next batch of accessories. Yu asks why she told Rin about his hobby, but Rin says she guessed after he fixed her bracelet. Himari then says Rin wanted to repay him for helping her, so she asked her to model for him. She even says he's lucky to have two cuties model for him, but Yu is a little hesitant because he hasn't warmed up to Rin. Himari believes he'll figure it out and reveals they'll be shooting at Rin's confectionery shop. Yu worries they'll mess with the business, so Rin suggests shooting it during the holidays. Rin excuses herself to discuss it with her mother, and in her absence, Yu asks Himari to go a little easy on her. However, Himari says she's the shy one, and they won't get anywhere without pushing her. Later, they head to the store where Yu excitedly buys new stuff for work. He then picks some stuff that suits Rin but makes sure she isn't creeped out by it. Rin says she's fine, but Himari purposely calls him creepy because she can't live without teasing him. When Yu gets all red and flustered, Rin finds it cute and lets out a quiet laugh. Later, Himari notices that Rin has good skin, so they should include it in the shoots. After seeking her permission, Yu leaves to find a necklace, but Himari urges him to put it on her. Rin hesitantly says she's okay with it, and Yu starts to think she doesn't see him as a man. However, when he leans in to put the necklace on her, she goes all red and moist, just like your mum when she sees a you-know-what. Himari notices this and comments that Rin's dress is revealing, which makes her blush even more. However, she is unable to tolerate her nonsense and grabs her by the nape, demanding that she cut the BS. Later, they head to the florist to buy some flowers for the photo shoot, and Rin is mesmerized by some thick purple flowers. However, she quickly gets embarrassed and maintains her distance from Yu. Yu then asks Himari for suggestions, and when she asks him to pick roses, he says it reminds her of Rin, who is thorny yet honest. Himari then leaves to get drinks, and on the way, she decides to set Yu up with Rin because she believes they understand each other. Yu takes the moment to apologize to Rin, but she says he doesn't have to because it was Himari's fault. She also reveals that Himari used to be quieter and would read books all day when they went to school together, so her mother asked her to befriend her. Rin used cookies to get closer to Himari, but Yu can't imagine her keeping her mouth shut for even a minute. He then asks Rin what flowers she likes, and she says she prefers them thick and big, which is a sentence she can also use in bed. Yu then decides to pick a flower that's pretty like her and eventually picks a tulip. He explains how tulip opens differently from other flowers, but soon realizes he might be coming off as a nerd. He then admits he didn't have any friends, so he was never interested in sports or games, and people kept telling him that his habit of flowers was boring. When he decides to skedaddle, Rin grabs his shirt and politely asks him why he likes flowers so much. Yu believes she's just trying to be nice since he helped her out, but Rin's eyes make it clear that she is genuinely interested in getting to know him better. Yu then reveals he loves Queen of the Night because of its unique smell, and it is so precious that he puts his heart and soul into ensuring the flower blooms. He also tells her about the time he went to a florist with his family, but got separated. That's when he ran into a girl who was crying all by herself, and as the two walked together, he realized she was lost too. The two started looking for their parents together, and before they parted ways, he bought her a flower that she promised to wear every day in her hair. Yu knew that the flower would die soon, but that encounter made him into a flower enthusiast, and if he took care of them, they might last longer. He did this because he wanted to feel connected to that girl, but now he feels too awkward talking about it. Rin quickly comments that the flower that the girl wore must have been a hibiscus, describing in detail how it was blooming red at that time. She even remembers Yu telling that girl that the color red suits her, and even though she hated red back then, she started to love the color since then. She then says that Yu's method of connecting with that girl has worked, because she is the same girl he met all those years ago. Seeing them connect so well, Himari leaves the drinks and heads home first. Later, Yu calls to make sure she's okay, but she doesn't pick up. Rin then asks if he's okay with exchanging numbers, and he nervously agrees. Meanwhile, Himari is already in her bed with her phone in her hand, but she throws it away in anger. She recalls Rin telling her that her sister brought her the bracelet she wears, which reminded him of the boy she met at the florist. Himari immediately connected the dots because she had heard the same story from Yu countless times, and she believes it is fate that has brought them together. This is why she wanted to help them, but the moment she left, she realized they didn't need her help at all. She is happy for both of them, but she is also a little sad because she's never seen Yu look so happy before. A couple of days later, Yu walks to school looking like a zombie and still can't believe Rin is his first love, whom he met all those years ago at the florist. He has tried texting Himari, but she's been leaving him on read. Just then, she says hi from the other shoe locker, and when Yu asks her to come closer, she keeps running away from him. He asks,
Why are you running?
And she says she's decided to keep 3-meter distance from him at all times. Just then, Rin shows up behind him, pulls his arm, and says good morning to him, which leaves the guy a bit uncomfortable. Yu then tells him about Himari's new antics, so Rin takes it upon herself to bring her out. She lures her out by saying she brought cookies, and the three of them walk to their class together. As the two girls argue, Yu finds himself acting like a side character in his own anime. Suddenly, Rin gives him cookies, and he realizes she's put a lot of effort into making patterns on them. She then says this is the only thing she's good at before walking off, leaving Yu a bit taken aback. Later on the roof, Himari jokes that he seems to be madly in love with Rin, and she should just read the room and leave them alone after school. Yu reminds her they're not dating yet, but Himari is surprised because she heard the whole story at the florist. Yu suddenly pins her against the fence and scolds her for eavesdropping. He also reprimands her for acting weirdly and forcing him to kiss her. But Himari goes all red and moist like he's about to swipe her V card. Yu gets flustered as well and tells her that there's nothing going on between him and Rin. He admits she was his first love, but he does not appreciate her assuming things about him and Rin. Instead of taking him seriously, Himari shoves a juice into his mouth and tells him to stop acting like a Karen. She then casually walks off, but Yu can't understand what she's doing and gets all hot and bothered when he recalls her reaction. Later, as he works in his lab, he is joined by Rin and Himari, and he tells them about the methods he uses to preserve flowers and turn them white. Rin then asks why he colors the flowers again, and he reveals it's because not doing this will make them wither when they're used in accessories. Just then, Himari's last 2 brain cells start acting up, so Yu asks Rin to keep her under control. Later, he finishes preparing the colors and reveals that it took him longer before because Himari kept annoying him during work hours. Himari casually says he has changed cause he used to flirt with her back then, but Yu calls BS and tells her to keep Rin in mind. Himari jokingly asks if they can smash if Rin isn't here, but Yu suddenly loses his cool and grabs her by the collar. Himari is amused by his quick reactions, and when she tries to change her words, the two start arguing among themselves. Meanwhile, Rin starts to think they're doing the forbidden ritual behind her back and casually leaves the room like she saw nothing. Himari begins laughing hysterically while Yu feels nothing but disappointment. As Yu closes in to smack her, she quickly grabs his hand and pushes him onto her. She then calmly says that they've already done it in Rin's mind, so it wouldn't matter if they did it for real this time. You can do it! She then reminds him of their marriage promise at age 30, and when Yu argues that was just a joke, she says she doesn't ever joke about marriage. She then suggests he experience these feelings of love with her to help him with his work, which leaves Yu flustered. He thinks to himself that they are best friends, but if they go down that path, they will become friends with benefits. He doesn't want to ruin their friendship, but Himari's face looks super cute to him at the moment, so he decides to go for it. As he leans in, he suddenly hears a ringtone and realizes that Himari is holding his phone. He quickly snatches the phone away from her and sees his own stupid face in it. As he expresses his frustration, Himari lies there laughing and enjoying every moment of teasing him. He asks her not to play tricks on him and goes back to work, but he can't shake the thought that he almost kissed her. Himari quietly says that he should have gone for it, but when he asks if she said anything, she brushes it off and asks how his day is going. She then leaves the room while calling him all sorts of things that'll get the video demonetized, and Yu fails to understand what she wants. As Himari takes the bus home, she looks almost disappointed because Yu didn't kiss her. The next day, Yu runs into Makishima, and he asks him about Rin while Yu waters the flowers. Yu hesitantly admits that Rin sort of confessed to him, and Makishima adds that she wouldn't bake him cookies if she didn't want him to slap her kitty. He also adds that she has finally met her childhood prince, but little does she know he's a level 1 crook. Despite that, she's head over heels for him, and Makishima jokes about her having a terrible taste in men. Yu can't understand whose side he is on and warns him not to do anything funny to Rin because he's already having trouble dealing with Himari. Makishima suddenly gets interested and asks him to explain, and Yu tells him that Himari has been clinging on to him a lot more than before. Makishima gets amused and decides to target her next. Later, Rin is delighted to see that the flowers have now picked their colors, while Himari is visibly annoyed at him and Rin getting closer. Ignoring her, Yu declares he'll use these to decide the direction of the photoshoot. He then makes Rin pose in different angles, and after a while, Himari gets bored. She suggests making Rin do some Suzy poses, but Yu tells her to shut up and let him do his job. He then focuses his mind and realizes that Himari and Rin appear the same to him right now, so he must find something that separates the two. Just then, he asks to capture the Queen of the Night, and then explains that he wants to capture her as if she were the flower itself. However, when he starts to doubt himself, Himari gets annoyed and decides to help him. She then whispers something in Rin's ear, and as Rin looks back, Yu clicks a picture out of instinct. He then realizes this is the best one he's taken so far, and it appears to him that she's clinging to something important. Rin then asks if he really explored Himari's Chamber of Secrets, but when Himari says she was joking, she lifts up the stool and starts chasing her all over the room. She then asks how the picture was, and Yu thanks her, saying it was perfect. Later, as he and Himari walk home, he asks her what she said in Rin's ear. Himari says it's a secret, and Yu is certain it must be something Suzy. Yu then says the picture he took was perfect, and he'll Photoshop the accessory on it for advertisement. While he's explaining the theme of love, Himari gets jealous but hides her feelings and excitedly asks him to take a picture of her as well. For a moment, Yu thinks about it, but then something in his heart tells him that he should keep Himari to herself. Seeing the choker around her neck, he realizes that protecting his friendship is the most important thing in the world for him. After that thought, he tells her no, and Himari keeps walking with a smile. However, she stays up all night thinking about it and wonders if she'll always stay Yuu's best friend forever. She gets up to get yogurt and thinks about how Yu is trying his best not to cross that line, but she thinks of him as more than a friend. She recalls Yuu's expression at the florist and wishes she could have seen his eyes light up close. She wishes they would light up for her, too. But this friendship they've built gets in the way. She admits playing the BFF route caused her to lose Yu romantically, but now she must do her best not to lose him more. The following night, Yu celebrates the launch of his new batch with his friends, and Himari wastes no time in picking a fight with Makishima. After some friendly banter, Makishima asks him what he made, and Yu pulls out a beautiful red tulip that he's turned into a hairpin. He then turns towards Rin to give it to her, but Himari suddenly pushes him and ruins the moment. She then starts taking dozens of pictures and keeps yapping non-stop to cover up her jealousy. Makishima sees right through her BS, so he asks Yu to put the hairpin in Rin while they're at it. Both of them get flustered at first, but then he gathers up the courage and actually puts it on her. After ordering food, Makishima asks him what his plans are for the next batch and suggests that he and Rin become an exclusive duo because the photoshoot was immaculate. Yu says he doesn't mind because she's pretty at F, and Rin agrees to it as well. However, Himari gets all serious and says she can't accept it, only to go back to her usual self to salvage the situation. She claims people will make fun of Rin if she keeps modeling, but Makishima confronts her head-on, asking if she sees her as a threat. Yu tries to calm them down, but they both tell him to stay out of it. Himari then takes a moment to relax and says Rin will have to make reports and participate in the festival if she goes down that route. However, Makishima says she doesn't need to do any of that stuff and asks Himari why she's panicking. Himari keeps her cool and says she's only doing this for Rin, but no one seems to buy her story. Yu then says he's fine having Rin model for him and reminds Himari that it was her idea to begin with. He then reminds her that she's been acting very weird lately, and if she doesn't understand love, she shouldn't force herself to model in love-themed shoots. Himari is visibly sad by his statement, but things go from bad to worse once Yu says he feels uncomfortable when she forces herself on him. In reality, he's worried he'll fall in love with her, so he's doing this to ensure that Himari keeps her distance. Himari is upset and starts looking for yogurt in his bag to cool herself down, but when she fails to find any, she pours water on Yu's head. She then chews up her straw and decides to end their friendship, leaving him confused. She then throws it at his head and starts screaming that she's gonna end it here. which makes the guy scared for his life. That's it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoy, and subscribe to the channel for part 2. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.